Today we're going to learn how to use some, any, and no in English. These words are very common and very important because we use them to talk about things that exist or do not exist. We use them with countable plural nouns like dogs, pens, clothes, and with uncountable nouns like bread, juice, food. Let's start with some. We usually use some in affirmative sentences. It means that something exists, but we do not say exactly how much or how many. For example, there is some bread in the cupboard, we have some juice at home, there are some pens on the table, there are some clothes in the bag. In all these examples, we know something is there, but we don't know the exact quantity. Now let's look at any. We use any in questions and negative sentences. It is also used with plural countable nouns and uncountable nouns. For example, in questions, is there any bread in the cupboard? Do you have any juice? Are there any people in the room? In negative sentences, we say, there isn't any bread in the cupboard. We don't have any juice. There aren't any people here. So remember, any we add questions and negatives. Now let's look at no. We use no in negative statements, but the verb is positive. For example, there is no bread in the cupboard. We have no juice at home. There are no pens on the table. There are no dogs in the house. Here, no makes the sentence negative, so we do not need another negative word. It is important to understand that any and no can express the same idea, but the structure is different. For example, there isn't any bread in the cupboard is the same as there is no bread in the cupboard. Also, we don't have any juice is the same as we have no juice. But remember, we do not use two negatives together. For example, we do not say, there isn't no bread or we don't have no juice. This is incorrect in standard English. Now let's look at some special words with some, any, and no. First, we have somebody, someone, anybody, anyone, and nobody, no one. We use these words to talk about people. For example, there is somebody at the door. Is there anybody at the door? There isn't anybody at the door. There is nobody at the door. These words help us talk about people when we don't know exactly who they are. Next, we have somewhere, anywhere, and nowhere, which we use to talk about places. For example, I have somewhere to watch a film. Is there anywhere to sit? There isn't anywhere to go. There is nowhere to camp. These expressions are very useful in everyday situations. Finally, we have something, anything, and nothing, which we use to talk about things or objects. For example, I want something to eat. Is there anything in the fridge? He doesn't have anything to do. She has nothing to wear. Again, we use something in positive sentences, anything in questions and negatives, and nothing in negative meaning sentences. Let's see everything together in context. There are some people in the room, but there aren't any chairs. There is no food on the table. Is there anything to drink? Yes, there is something in the fridge. There is nobody in the kitchen and nowhere to sit. These examples show how we use these words in real situations. To summarize, some is used in affirmative sentences, any is used in questions and negatives, and no is used in negative statements with a positive verb. We also use words like somebody, anyone, nothing, and somewhere to talk about people, things, and places. Learning these words will help you speak more clearly about what exists and what does not exist in English.